In a small village surrounded by lush green hills, there lived a girl named Amina. She was 8 years old, with bright eyes and a curious mind. Her parents, though loving, were often busy and forgetful. Amina's father, Mr. Kofi, was a hard-working farmer who spent most of his days tending to the fields. Her mother, Mrs. Abina, managed the household chores and occasionally helped her husband in the fields. Their lives were full of work and responsibilities, leaving little time for other things. One sunny morning, as the rooster crowed, signaling the start of a new day, Amina's parents were in a hurry to get ready. Mr. Kofi needed to get to the fields early to plant the new season's crops, and Mrs. Abina had a long list of chores to complete. In their rush, they overlooked packing Amina's lunch. "Amina, hurry up. You'll be late for school," Mr. Kofi called out as he hurriedly tied his boots. "Don't forget to come home straight after school," Mrs. Abina added as she scrubbed the breakfast dishes. Amina quickly dressed in her school uniform, grabbed her bag, and dashed out the door. She didn't notice that her lunch was still sitting on the kitchen table. The walk to school was short, but Amina enjoyed every moment of it. She loved the feeling of the warm sun on her skin and the sight of the blooming flowers along the path. At school, Amina was an eager student. She loved learning new things, especially about the world beyond her village. Her teacher, Miss Ya, was kind and patient, making every lesson exciting and fun. Amina's favorite subjects were reading and storytelling. She loved the tales Miss Ya told about brave heroes, magical creatures, and faraway lands. But today was different. As the final bell rang, signaling the end of the school day, Amina waited outside, expecting her parents to come get her. She sat on the wooden bench near the school gate, watching as one by one, her classmates were picked up by their parents or guardians. Minutes turned into hours, and soon the sun began to set. The schoolyard grew quiet as all the other children left. Amina sat on the bench, feeling a bit scared and lonely. The sky changed colors, from bright blue to shades of orange and pink, and then to deep purple. Amina hugged her knees to her chest, shivering slightly as the air grew cooler. "Amina, are you still here?" It was Miss Ya's voice. She was locking up the school for the day. "Yes, Miss Ya. My parents haven't come for me yet," Amina replied, her voice trembling slightly. Miss Ya looked concerned. "It's getting late, Amina. Do you know the way home?" "Yes, Miss Ya. I do. I think I can find my way," Amina said, trying to sound braver than she felt. Miss Ya nodded. "All right, dear. Be careful and stay on the main path." Amina gathered her things and started her journey home. She knew a shortcut through the forest that could get her home quicker. She had heard many stories about the forest, some scary and some magical. Gathering her courage, she stepped onto the path that led into the woods. The forest was dense and dark, with tall trees that seemed to touch the sky. As she walked deeper into the forest, she noticed strange lights flickering among the trees. The lights were small and faint, like fireflies, but they moved in an unusual, almost deliberate way. Curious, Amina followed the lights and stumbled upon a clearing. There, she saw something unbelievable, a group of small, glowing creatures dancing around a large, ancient tree. These were the forest spirits, guardians of the woods. They looked like tiny humans with wings that shimmered like stars. Their eyes glowed with a soft, comforting light, and their laughter sounded like the tinkling of bells. They noticed Amina and stopped dancing. "Who are you, child, and why are you here in our forest?" asked the spirit leader, a tiny creature with silver wings and a crown of leaves. "I'm Amina. My parents forgot to pick me up from school, and I'm trying to find my way home," she replied. The spirits whispered among themselves, their voices like the rustling of leaves. Then the leader spoke again. "You are brave, Amina. We will help you get home safely." Amina felt a wave of relief wash over her. The spirits surrounded her, their light guiding the way through the forest. They showed her hidden paths and magical places she had never seen before. They taught her songs that made the trees part and the animals stay calm. Amina felt a sense of wonder and gratitude, knowing she was experiencing something truly special. As they walked, the spirits told Amina stories about the forest. They spoke of ancient trees that had witnessed centuries of history, of animals that could talk, and of hidden treasures buried deep within the earth. Amina listened with wide-eyed amazement, feeling as though she had stepped into one of the tales Miss Ya often told at school. Finally, they reached the edge of the village. The spirit stopped and bid Amina farewell. "Remember, Amina, you are never alone. The forest will always be your friend," said the spirit leader. Amina thanked the spirits with all her heart and ran towards her home. As she approached her house, she saw her parents frantically searching for her. Her mother was near tears, and her father looked deeply worried. "Amina," her mother cried out, running to her and enveloping her in a tight hug. "We were so worried. Where have you been?" "I'm so sorry, Mama. I got lost, but the forest spirits helped me find my way home," Amina explained, her voice muffled by her mother's embrace. Her parents were amazed and relieved. They had heard tales of the forest spirits but never imagined their daughter would encounter them. They promised never to forget her again and to always make time for their precious daughter. That night, as Amina lay in bed, she thought about her adventure. She knew that whenever she felt scared or lonely, she could think of the forest spirits and feel their magical presence. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Amina's adventure became a cherished memory, a secret she held close to her heart. She often returned to the forest, hoping to catch a glimpse of the spirits again. Sometimes she would hear their laughter in the rustling leaves or see a faint glow among the trees, reminding her that they were always near. Amina's parents, too, changed after that day. They became more attentive and involved in her life. They made sure to pack her lunch every day and never forgot to pick her up from school again. They spent more time together as a family, going for walks, playing games, and sharing stories. The bond between them grew stronger, filled with love and understanding. One evening, as the family sat around the fire, Amina told her parents about the stories the spirits had shared with her. Her father listened intently, his eyes reflecting the dancing flames. One evening, as the family sat around the fire, Amina told her parents about the stories the spirits had shared with her. Her father listened intently, his eyes reflecting the dancing flames. "Amina, you have a gift for storytelling," he said. "Perhaps one day, you can share these tales with others." Amina smiled, feeling a sense of pride and excitement. She realized that the forest spirits had given her more than just guidance home, they had ignited a passion for storytelling within her. From that day forward, Amina began to write down the stories she had heard and the adventures she had imagined. She filled pages with tales of bravery, magic, and wonder, sharing them with her classmates and friends. The village soon came to know Amina as a gifted storyteller. Children gathered around her, eager to hear her latest story, while adults marveled at her imagination and creativity. Her tales brought joy and inspiration to everyone, reminding them of the magic that existed in their world. Years passed, and Amina grew into a wise and kind young woman. She never forgot the night the forest spirits had helped her, and she continued to visit the forest, now with a deeper understanding and respect for its mysteries. She often left small offerings of thanks for the spirits, knowing they were always watching over her. Amina's stories spread far beyond her village, reaching neighboring towns and even distant lands. People traveled from afar to hear the tales of the girl who had been guided by forest spirits. Amina's name became known as a symbol of courage, kindness, and the power of believing in magic. As Amina looked back on her journey, she realized that the adventure she had embarked on that fateful evening had shaped her destiny. The forest spirits had not only guided her home but had also set her on a path to discover her true calling. She felt a deep sense of gratitude for the magical beings who had shown her the way. And so, Amina's legacy lived on, her stories continuing to enchant and inspire generations. The village where she grew up became a place of wonder, where people believed in the magic of the forest and the power of stories. Amina knew that even in the darkest times, there is always light and help if you believe. Thank you for joining us at Tales at Dawn. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this story with your friends. Until next time.